I am bringing you another wood project, as my friend Sandra from the Shorns Nest would say, Timber Tuesday. I had found some, well, I did not find it. My mother-in-law had some scrap wood put out for garbage, so I actually took it from her. I have no idea where it was from, but nevertheless, I put it to good use. I have wanted to make these wood Christmas trees for a while, and this was perfect wood for it. So without further ado, let's get started. So here is the scrap wood that I'm using. I have used a triangle ruler to just mark off all of my pieces that I'm cutting, and I went with 3 with just a pointy top, and then I needed 3 with 1 inch, and then I needed 3 with 2 inch, and then I needed 2 with 4 inch, and then 1 with 5 inch. So I hope this makes sense. It will probably make all sense once I cut them all out and assemble them. Then you'll see what I meant by the top. So some meet right at the top, and then some are an inch apart, 2 inches apart, 3 inches apart, and 4 inches apart. So now that I had them cut, I used a table saw to cut them, and I'm going on, no, it's not a table saw, it's a miter saw. And then I'm using just my sanding block just to smooth out the edges so they don't cause any splinters, and they're just nice and smooth. This was fairly simple to do. There wasn't a lot of loose wood to sand off. If you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, welcome. My name is Sonja, and I hope that you enjoy this video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're stopping by for the first time, I hope you consider subscribing and pressing that notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. Make sure you check out my DIY playlist. There are tons of inspirations in there, from Dollar Tree to Trash to Treasure to lots of scrap wood projects. Now, once that was all sanded out, I am going to stain them, but I'm not going to use just a normal stain. I'm going to take some of the chalk paint that I have, and I'm going to water it down and use it as stain. So the very first one that I'm going to be using is Cocoa by Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I got this at Home Depot. I painted a coffee table with it, used it as a stain for the top, so I wanted to use it now because I have tons of it for this project. So the way I create the stain is I am adding some paint. You don't need a lot at all, and then I'm going to be watering it down. So the next one is my Chateau Gray by Annie Sloan. I've had this paint for very long. As you can see, it's quite thick, but again, I'm going to be using water to water it down, so it's not a problem at all. And the last paint, my tin broke that the paint was in, but I am using Paris Gray by Annie Sloan as well, and I've had this one for quite a long time as well. So this one actually was a little bit runnier. I have a feeling that I've already added water to it, but I still needed to add water. Now to the Chateau Gray one, I'm going to add more than the other two, obviously, because it's so thick. But my advice is that you start with a little bit of water, and then you can always add more. You don't want to add too much and then having to add more paint. Then it's just wasting the paint. But I'm just adding a little by little, and you just wanted it to be fairly runny. That's pretty much the consistency that I was going for. That when you dip the paintbrush in it, it's running, it's dripping completely down. This Chateau Gray took a little bit more time to mix it up because it was so thick, but you definitely want to mix it up enough so it doesn't have any of the chunks in it. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again. Now that everything was mixed up, the fun part starts, and it's painting these pieces of wood. It doesn't matter the pattern, it doesn't matter how you paint them, and you actually don't even have to stain them. You can completely paint them. This is just what I was doing, but you can paint them with just acrylic paint or stain them with the actual wood stain. I just wanted to show you another way that you can do things. So once I had the piece painted, I am taking a rag and just wiping it all off, and this is what's creating that stained look, because you've got the color and you've got the wood grain coming through as well. And if you want it darker, you just keep applying more paint to it until you reach the darkness that you want. I didn't want too much darkness, so I was okay with just one coat. I did add a little bit more to with the green one, especially in a couple pieces, because I did find that it was a little too light. But when you are using a rag to wipe it off, you want to make sure that you're using a separate rag for each color, because you don't want to have mixing the colors unless that's what you're going for. But sometimes the stains are left over on one and you don't want to transfer that to a different color. So I suggest using the different rags for each color. For this first, so I will be making 3 Christmas trees, and the first one I just need 3 pieces, so each color for each triangle. And then for the next one, I'm going to double up some just to have more color. You can do a pattern that looks the same, or you can mix them up. I mixed them up because I really didn't care if it was patterned or not. I just love using things around the house, and like I said, my mother-in-law was throwing this out, so I took it, and the wood was actually in a really good condition, and I thought it was going to be great for some projects. I have a couple pieces left over still that I can definitely use to make some signs with if I want to. Now, I have seen a dollar store people share that Dollar Tree has these wood planks, and I thought those, if you don't have any scrap wood, those would work as well. You would just have to cut them into the triangles. We don't have any at our store, so this is what I'm using. And now the fun part is starting assembling these trees. This piece of wood, the thinner one, is also from the scrap wood that came from my mother-in-law, and I just cut it into 3 different sizes, lengths, so that way I can assemble the trees on top. I am using wood glue and hot glue. Wood glue for more permanent hold, and hot glue for immediate hold, so that way I can actually keep working and moving them around, and don't have to worry about them falling apart because the wood hasn't set yet. Not sure if you guys are aware, but I also have a home channel where I share how I decorate with a lot of these DIYs that I make. So if you haven't had a chance to check out my home channel, it is full on Christmas decorating happening over there. I am almost done on my main floor, and I will be sharing my home tour this week for the main floor. So I encourage you to see how I use all of my DIY, most of the DIYs that I create in my home decor. It is definitely a budget-friendly way to decorate your house and switch out decor as often as I do. And that's why I like creating a lot of these DIYs, so that way I can switch out my decor without breaking the bank. I absolutely love the way this turned out, and I can't wait to use it. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where I'm going, which room this is going to go into, and if you want to find out, make sure you are watching my home channel. Well, I hope you had enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See y'all in my next video. Bye!